Francesca Watson.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Hello. Let me get rid of this banner here real quick. It is so great to see your beautiful face.
Oh, bless you, my friend. I'm thrilled to be here. And honestly, I feel like I've joined the cool kids club. Thanks for inviting me to do this with you.
Well, you are a super cool kid, and we are so happy and so stoked to have you here. So
I'm just thrilled to have been asked.
well, you know, mutual admiration society right
I don't
here.
know what I apologize now. My hair has decided it's going to do a thing all of a sudden.
No, you look amazed. You look amazing. As I told Francesca earlier, I was chatting with Janice not long ago. I was on my power walk, and so I'm still in my power walk clothes, but a little red lipstick and a fancy earring and a hair clip can make everything work. So
I'm just saying, I wish I could get away with that. I like
so I did my mile walk this morning, and whew, so
good for you.
what better to follow up with my friend Francesca Watson of the Makery in Bulverde, Texas. And let me tell you, folks, why we're here today. I'm going to put this banner back up, and we're going out, Francesca, on so many streams. We're on your stream. We're on Great Bead Extravaganza streams. We're on bead shop streams. We're all over. We're all over, and people are jumping on and saying hello. I'll put some comments up.
Hello. I actually see names I recognize there.
Yeah, right? Well, our world is small, even if it's the metalsmithing world and the bead world, collide in so many places. So what we're doing today is Francesca and I are chatting about the Spring Fling, which is the Great Bead Extravaganza Spring Fling, which is coming up. It starts with preview night on Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. Eastern. Francesca is our special guest this time. And so Francesca is going to join us on Saturday at your segment is at 4 Pacific, 4, 5, 6, 7 Eastern, and whenever it is Mountain. I'm going to because time zones.
I can't.
Time zones are tiresome. My friend.
There's a website. What time is it in New York right now? That's how I have to do it. I give up.
That's right. Let me add in, I'm just putting it up right now. Here is everything. I need to put on my glasses so I can see it. So you can see, of course, it's the regular crew of our Great Bead Extravaganza core companies. And then, of course, we have our wonderful guest, Francesca Watson of the Makery. She is coming at you on Saturday, April 12th. 1 p.m. Hawaii, 4 Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern. I don't know what it is, Greenwich Mean Time, or for those of you over in Europe, but you will have to, like the BBC, it's like, it is 12 o'clock GMT.
GMT.
Yes. I'm coming at you for my bead shop segment at 10 a.m. Pacific, just a half hour earlier than I usually broadcast. And then, of course, on Sunday, we're wrapping it up with a Great Bead Extravaganza AMA. So some of us from the Great Bead are jumping on, and you as the audience can jump in and ask us anything bead related. We're not going to.
No.
We're not going to get too crazy.
The color of my underwear is no one's business.
It's no one's business. Well, I can tell I'm not wearing underwear. I mean, no.
Commando.
Here, when you get together with an old friend, you forget that hundreds of people are actually watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are there hundreds of people watching?
Well, we're climbing in a second. Okay. So it is great, my friend, to have you here today. So many people are saying hello. And Terry, thank you for reminding everybody to hit those likes and notifications. A well-fed algorithm is a happy algorithm, and it is true. It is true.
Hi, Janice. Hi, Terry. It's nice to meet you too.
Yes. Kim Crawford is here. So many So many people are here jumping in. So I put this in our newsletter today. It's been on all of the socials. Janice is linking over there. There's the Great Bead. I also wanted to put up Francesca's. You can find Francesca everywhere. I'm going to put that right there. So let me back up. So now that we've talked about what we're wearing, what we're not wearing, all of that, let's talk a little bit about you, my friend. Our special guest, Francesca, when we do the Great Bead Extravaganza, and for those of you who are new to the TGBE, this is something that a core group of friends kind of came together during the pandemic. And, you know, there were no shows, as you well remember, Francesca.
Oh, yes.
Similar on our metalsmithing. I had one foot in the metalsmithing world, one foot in the bead world, as I usually do. And but the bead friends came together and we talked about, you know, what can we do to kind of give people something to do during this crazy pandemic time. Yeah. So the Great Bead Extravaganza was born out of that. And so now we are in our fifth, it's 2025. So we're in our fifth year. Since 2020. It might be our 18th broadcast, I think, of the TGBE, which is crazy. So crazy. There's our buddy, Abby Berta. Abby owns the Bead Place, and they just celebrated their 20-year anniversary. So
congratulations,
the Bead Place. Abby does such great things over there.
That's fantastic.
But you know, the Great Bead Extravaganza was really born out of like a collective of friends who lift each other up. And, you know, we're all small businesses. And that is how I know Francesca. I've known you, Francesca, for at least 10 years, probably longer.
Yeah, it's 10 or 11.
10 or 11, I think. And we met in the metalsmithing world.
We did. We were both teaching in Tucson.
That's right. Teaching in Tucson. And I was like...
And I was completely starstruck because, oh my gosh, did you know that you're Kate Richbourg? I really was like...
Oh, you're funny.
No, seriously. And I'm being completely honest. The fact that you had a clue who I was absolutely made my day. Seriously.
Girl, I will
never forget that. And now we're friends.
We are. I mean, we are deep friends, right?
We are like friends.
Yeah.
Oh, look, your mom.
Yeah. And my mom, I don't know if she ever did. You know, I went out to Francesca. You know, some of you know this. That's when I almost drowned. I literally, Texas tried to take me.
I'm not even kidding.
No, but you did take good care of me. You know, nothing like
the whole story.
It is a whole story.
I literally was standing on the edge of a flooded roadway watching Kate and her friend Tammy Del Nero who is now also my friend, because how could you go through this and not be like friends?
That's right.
Watching the water rise up outside and literally seriously thinking, I'm going to stand here and watch my friend be swept away. I was horrified. Absolutely horrified. And I remember watching the back end of the car swing out, and I thought, guys, and all of these really cute beefcakey firefighters suddenly like swung into action and waded out into the water.
Yeah. But I knew I had a plan. I had a plan. I knew that was not my day. But that's when I called you.
Did you? Because I wasn't, I'm going to be honest with you. I was standing there going, it's all good. It's good. It's great. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I had a moment.
Yeah. The water coming up. But I knew that wasn't my day. And I called you on the phone. I'm all, Francesca, so I'm in this flood. And anyway, it's a long story. Francesca showed up. Deep water showed up. I had a plan. I knew that I could because they told us not to get out of the car because, you know, not yet. So I was, Cynthia, this is that Francesca from the flood story.
Cynthia, I am such a fan of yours. I've got to tell you seriously, like I just got goosebumps when I saw this. I really am I'm fangirling right now.
Yeah. She's she's that's another one of my ride or die. My ride or die. Oh, and Kim, it is true. Waiting on Kate's updates from the flood. It was crazy, but I knew, Francesca, that I was going to get out. I had a plan in my head. I figured I could break the window if I had to. I could get the seat rest up, and I knew I could break through. I was like, I can do it. Or I knew that I could get up and out of the trunk, and I was going to drag Tammy Del Nero with me, come hell.
So let me just tell you, I watched you when it was your turn. Tammy came out that window like it was nothing, and she's not a small woman.
No,
and
I was like, go.
I watched you. You practically levitated out that window.
Did. I'm all get out of here. Hilarious. I'm going. Boom, bam.
Anyway, Gwen, you are welcome, and thank you for I absolutely adore. It was Lord Almighty. But then we had the weirdest thing. We wound up, because I was like, "You're not going to a hotel. You're staying at my house."
Yes, that's
right. They stayed at my house, but also staying at my house was the one and only Charles Luton Brain.
Yes,
so we had a 2-day pajama party with Charles Luton Brain. It was seriously surreal.
And I will tell you, Charles, if you know our buddy Charles,
what a lovely human being.
Lovely human, really one of the, along with like Tim McCray, some of the old school metalsmithing instructors.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, right? He is really responsible for so much education, for bringing fold forming to the fore. Charles Luton Brain has written many wonderful books that I love. So you talking about starstruck in Tucson, I was starstruck. Charles was the reason I came to Texas.
That's right.
I wanted to learn from him. And I was like, holy crap. I learned so much. That whole weekend, that was amazing. It was really
one for the history books, that one.
It was. And, and so, you just, if it's not your day, it's not your day.
It's not your day.
Yeah. I lived on to string another bead and hammer another piece of metal.
There you go.
What are you going to do? That's right. So all of these bonds, that is to say, all of these bonds have really literally forged the relationships of people in our industry, like tight. And though we don't get to see each other as often as we used to, because shows don't really exist like they used to. Bead and Button, no. Bead Fest, no. Some of the smaller like Bead Society shows and stuff that we used to do, not really a thing anymore. Sorry, I was walking and so my nose likes to run a little bit.
Yeah, I may have to pause. I may have to mute myself to cough up a lung.
But it's we're nothing if not real here. So, I should get while you're drinking, I should get my water. But so that is really why this came about. And when Francesca and I met in that Tucson, I mean, I really was super impressed by Francesca's really fantastic, like the way that you taught, the things that you taught your students. Always, I think that we teach in a very similar way, in that though we're project instructors, we like people to come away with a project.
Yes.
We really are process instructors.
Yeah, it's really all about kind of folding the techniques into a package that will be appealing to people, because frankly, I don't know about you, I've tried to offer classes about specific techniques, and my people just don't want to sign up for them. So package it in a project, and then I think people are happier with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that from those projects, people can then branch out. I mean, you have such a big following. You did so much wonderful, wonderful stuff this bead extravaganza came out of the pandemic. What also came out of the pandemic for us on our metalsmithing side, us as metalsmithing instructors came together, and we came together under, I think it was you and Charles.
Me and
Charles,
right?
Who started, we had these kind of monthly meetings, and we talked about technology and how to get ourselves out there. And
I mean, we literally pooled our resources and taught one another how to teach online, because that was literally my husband is retired and we have a decent retirement income. And so it was never about keeping the roof over my head. We came very close to losing the studio, which would have been very sad. But for a lot of the folks in the industry, this really was like, potentially catastrophic. Yeah. And so the thought was, how can we crowdsource information that will allow people to continue to earn a living? Mm-hmm. And that was really what it was about. Initially, we were like every week we were, okay, I found this camera, or, there's this, whatever, and just kind of cheering each other on. And we did that for, I don't know, probably 6 months.
Oh, at least. And it was really amazing. And it was, all of the big metalsmithing names.
And everybody was so generous. That was the thing. Everybody just kind of gave away what they knew. It was wonderful.
It was so good. And so that, I think, allowed us, and those of us who were very familiar with broadcasting, and going online and going live, and, way back in the days of like Periscope and like those old,
do you remember Periscope?
Yeah, Periscope. Oh yeah. I have like Periscope sent me all kinds of swag, because I was Periscope queen. I loved it. I have socks from them, Periscope socks, all of that. Yeah.
Melissa, you and I, we used to do Periscopes together, and they always ended. So how do we stop this? That was
yeah. How do we do this? How do we do this? It was so good. Cindy, you do remember Francesca also participated in that creative make that Janice filmed. Remember, we did the it was at Bead and Button. You were there. What was it called? It was
was this the Project Runway sort of thing?
Yeah, the Great Bead, the throwdown. It was you and me and Eva Sherman.
Sherman, Gwen Youngblood, Kim St. Jean,
right?
Julie Sanford, who cleaned our clocks,
who won
because she's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was absolutely one of the most heart-stopping experiences.
And Janice filmed Janice was in the trenches the whole time.
Janice, I remember the camera coming around. I didn't remember that was you. That's hilarious. Yeah. I did not know that was you.
Yeah. And it's still on our Bead Shop YouTube. If you search
it, really?
It is. Yeah. It's there.
Oh my gosh.
It's still there. And that was super fun. And then all of the pieces that we made, I mean, I did it down to the wire, and I'm teaching, I'm screwing around, like teaching people how to do stuff and chatting and working, and people are just like, well, you keep making your piece, you're not going to finish.
You have to have something done at the end of this. I remember sending Brenda Schwader a message, because she was the MC of that thing. And I said, if the surprise ingredient is a Barbie head, I will hurt you.
I remember it was a beautiful lampwork bead.
It was gorgeous.
Aja Vaz, maybe?
Yes, I think that's right. I think that's exactly right.
Yeah.
No, but with Brenda Schwader, it could have been like sweepings from her studio floor.
It could have. You never know.
Anything.
It could have been one of Alfie's sticks, is what it could have been.
Right.
It could have been. But that was super, super fun. So these type of experiences, I mean, I miss it. I miss shows.
I do too.
I miss that one-on-one, or one on, like, with 20 students, and you pack up your whole metalsmithing studio.
The whole thing. I used to have to rent a van.
Yeah, you would drive. I put my faith in, whatever shipping gods are out there.
Nope, I have control issues.
And I'd send my whole classroom in action packers across the company, and I would be, with my phone tracking. And then, we'd set up, we'd make metalsmithing studios. Everybody had
their own. I was literally just telling somebody a story about Bead and Button. Man, I missed that show. That venue was so beautiful.
It was.
And the organizers were so on the money. They just were so... I loved that show. It made me so sad.
I do too. And, I have been teaching there since Bead and Button was the embellishment conference. It
Wow.
was down in Texas. And it was, there's something magical about that type of teaching where, I mean, it literally is a pop-up. You create kind of this mirage in the bead desert.
Right.
You think up these things to teach, right? And hopefully all of your stuff has arrived. Hopefully all your students find your classroom. Hopefully everybody gets it. Hopefully no one breaks down in tears, including the instructor.
That happened.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the Wild West, and it's super fun. I don't know that those times will ever come back, but one of the cool things that did come out of the pandemic and did come out of us learning so much about technology, like all of you folks.
Like this.
Yeah, it's stuff like this. Yeah. So we can all gather from all corners of the world, not only, people that can join in the physical classroom, but you can, and thanks, Janice, for linking that. When Craft Industry Alliance wrote about Bead and Button, one of the things about Bead and Button that's a great piece of history is Janice and I knew Alice Korash really well. That she started the Bead and Button magazine with her then partner, and they came out to visit us at the bead shop in Palo Alto, and we went up to Green's for luncheon in San Francisco, and they talked to us about how they're going to launch this Bead and Button magazine. It was crazy. So, we were all, tell us more about this bead magazine. So, it was pretty cool. That was way back in the day, 95, maybe, I don't know, but it was really, it was cool. So I think that now having this type of opportunity to be able to reach people not only in the classroom space, but out in the world. And that's something, Francesca, that you have really, really perfected. So why don't you talk a little bit about, then we'll talk about your segment, but I know that people want to hear about you, how you came into the jewelry world, and where is this fabulous, beautiful place that you're sitting right now? Because
I started out as a beader. We moved to Texas in 2005. In 2006 and 7, we were having some issues with our daughter, with kind of the sort of family stuff that just eats your lunch, and I was desperate for something that didn't require me to think too hard. I just whatever. And a girlfriend of mine said, "Let's go take this bead class." I found this bead class. And so 3 of us went together. The idea was we were going to do the bead class, and then we were going to go have lunch. We did the bead class. We sat down at lunch. My one friend was like, "I will never do that again. I would rather poke sharp things in my eyes." She was like, "This is clearly not for me." But my other friend, you remember my friend Kimmy?
Yes.
She and I were like all in. And so suddenly we started taking every bead thing we could get our hands on. And as you know, we jokingly call that the gateway drug, right?
The
next thing you want to do, right, is now you want to make your own clasps, and you want to make your own focals, and now you want to set stones, and it turns into like a whole thing. And so I jokingly say to people that I have a studio because I outgrew my garage, which is sort of not funny. It's kind of the real deal. So I opened Roadhouse Arts with 2 friends in 2013. And then they moved on, and Nick and I reopened in the same location in 2016 as the Makery. We're in Bulverde, Texas, outside San Antonio, and he's a painter. You can't see his stuff is all over the walls in here. We had a fire in 2023, and just lost everything in the studio. And there was a moment where we sort of thought, because we had sunk our entire life savings into this building.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
No, it's all right. So we sort of, for a minute, we thought, well, maybe we're just gonna, we'll cash out the insurance and we'll retire, and that'll be the end of this. And the community basically said that is not an option.
Yeah, they said, no, you're not.
everybody rallied. You know, insurance covers some of what's in the building, but because we didn't own the building, it didn't help us get set up someplace else.
Yeah.
And as we discovered, you know, the commercial real estate market, I know you know this where you are, you know, we were well insured, but we were underinsured. So it didn't cover everything that was in the building. And we did not have enough. I mean, literally, when I say our life savings was in that building, our life savings was in that building. So the community really rallied. They did a GoFundMe and they raised the funds, and we found this fabulous location, worked out this great deal. And so we have this beautiful new space that we called the studio that Love built, because we seriously could not have done this without the community. Seriously. Every day I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. I walk in here every day with a sense of profound gratitude for what this community has built. And so I sort of feel like it's really just my job to be a steward of it. You know.
Well, it's really, I remember, because we saw each other in Tucson, and then you had the fire not that long after.
No, it was like a month later.
About a month later. And I've been there to do your open houses and stuff. I've taken classes there. So it was a really fantastic spot. And, you know, I know that when, you know, we did the GoFundMe, or people did the GoFundMe, and I know that, you know, all of us tried to rally, you know, because you have such a fantastic resource there. So not only at the Makery do you teach, but you bring in world-class instructors that are amazing. The instructors
I sort of look at this as and not to sort of, I have a no politics, no religions rule, so I kind of don't go there. But I do sort of view this as a ministry, and I feel like I bridge that gap. I want this to be an extraordinary student experience. I want students to show up and feel loved on and cared for and paid attention to, and and loved on. I mean, the thing that I say a lot is, you know, love others well. That's kind of our tagline. But I also want that same experience for instructors. So when instructors come in, I want them to feel well supported and like we have everything they need. You know, from teaching on the road, it can be a real grind. It can be, you know, pardon the expression, a little ass puckering, right? You get this thing, you don't have this tool you're used to using, or, oh gosh, you forgot to put that on the list.
Right. And then you're walking around to your instructor friends going,
hey, do you have any? Yeah, exactly.
I need one more file. Somebody.
I'm out of butane, or this torch won't work, or, you know, my torch sprung a leak. So, you know, I want very much for everybody in the experience. I feel like my job is to facilitate the best possible experience for students, but also for instructors. And so that's kind of our mission. And so we try to bring in really top-notch people. And we just had an instructor who said she's taught a lot of places in a lot of studios for schools. She said this is hands down the best studio she's ever taught in.
That's Lynette from Lynette.
Lynette.
From Potter USA. Yeah. And our buddy Kevin Potter, you folks have heard me talk
I love him.
About Kevin and my hydraulic press from Kevin, and I've learned so much using Kevin's tools. Kevin is Potter USA in Tucson. You've seen me do live broadcasts and stuff with Kevin. He has also just opened a classroom space.
I'm so excited for them.
I am so excited for them. You know, Annie Pennington.
I want them to invite me to come teach there.
Yeah, I just want to have them to invite me to come hang out, and I want to use a drop hammer like there's no tomorrow.
I have video of me doing the drop hammer, the manual drop hammer.
Yeah,
I have video. These guns are still loaded.
Yeah,
I'm old, but these guns are still loaded, baby.
Yeah, they are. It's so awesome. Annie Pennington, who was the former editor of
Art Jewelry Magazine.
She between her and Lynette, they head up kind of the education program over there at Potter USA. And so if you're interested in kind of more metalsmithing, more like antique jewelry, stuff like that, go join the Potter USA group. They can also, of course, Francesca, you have a lot of resources that we'll talk about as well for the Makery.
Yeah. One of the things that I did during the pandemic was I started a free teaching group, and it was basically, you know, throw a few bucks in the kitty if you feel like it, but don't. And people were very generous during that period of time, and that was what helped us keep our doors open. That group is free, and it is still it's free. 5,900 members in 82 countries. I'm on a call. Sorry, somebody's like knocking on my door. I can't speak to you right now. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Where's
that link? Is it the Facebook group, Francesca?
It's the Facebook group. It's the Open Studio group. And we do one free project a month there. So I told the group that I was closing the doors on Sunday, but then I remembered we were doing this. So they're actually open right now. If you want to get into the free group, you can do that right now. But we also created, and I'm sorry, I have to pop a cough drop in my mouth. I'm about to lose my voice. We also have a paid subscriber group that has even more stuff, and we are opening the doors on our new platform, which we just launched. We are opening the doors to that this Saturday, coincidentally.
That is so awesome.
And I'm going to have a discount code for your people for their first month if they'd like to join us.
Even better. So it's Makery Arts on Facebook, right?
It's it's Open Studio for Jewelry Makers is what I think it's called.
I just want to get the link.
Yep. So basically, if you're one of my subscribers, what you get is a full project every month. It's $15 a month. You get a full project. You get a private Facebook group, but also this private platform that we've just launched. You get a work along from my bench where you get to see what I'm working on, and you get an office hours, a 2-hour office hours with me where you can ask questions and live. And then throughout the month, I'm active in the group answering your questions, helping you, whatever. We just completed a challenge, the One Thing Challenge. Had some great giveaways. So so that group has kind of morphed into a key part of our business.
No, it's really great. And the code and stuff, you're going to give that on your broadcast.
On my broadcast, on Saturday.
On Saturday. Fantastic.
Yep. I'm putting together a little handout for everybody. So you'll have a handout, and it will have the link on there, and the discount code and all of that.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much. So what are you have some things that you might want to share with us today?
Yeah. So, well, let me just say, first of all, Janice was like, talk to me about the glasses. These are craft optics.
I have mine are sitting. Oh, you know what? Mine are at my studio. I love mine.
These were a game changer. And so even if metalsmithing is not your thing, these are pretty terrific. They are actual binocular magnification. It's literally like having a 2x microscope on your face, not the same as a reader or a craft an optivisor. It's actual 2x magnification. So Janice had asked about that. That's what these are. And my subscribers have a discount code for them. So if that's something that interests you. But when Kate and I were talking about what we were going to do for this, we were talking about the fact that, you know, when you first start out, making that transition from beading to metalsmithing can be hugely intimidating. I know that it was for me. And so what I've done is I'm trying to put together some stuff that that I would have appreciated knowing when I was getting started, because there was not, you know, when I got started, there wasn't that much stuff on the internet. We didn't have these groups. It wasn't that same kind of thing. So let me start by showing you. Let's do this.
I'm going to solo your screen here, Francesca.
Okay. So I'm going to talk to you guys about soldering surfaces, which one to choose, what do you need, what do you not need when you're first starting out. We're going to talk about torches. I'm going to show you how you can do stuff, simple stuff like this. You don't need a lot of tools. You know, you can make these wonderful connectors. You can melt your scrap. That's one of the things you know, if you're going to make a thing, right, you're left with scrap and everybody's feeling super intimidated because, oh my gosh, it's silver and they don't want anything to go to waste. I'm going to show you how you can use that to make little drops, or how to make these water casts are like among my favorite things. You can do simple little bails like this that you can just then clip onto wire wrapped pieces, or you know, if you have a focal, you can attach that. We're going to talk about clasps and chain, how to make links. We're not going to do a completed project just because, you know, I asked Kate if I could have a 6-hour session and she said I couldn't have a 6-hour session. So in an hour, there's going to be a limit to what I can cover, but you know, we're going to talk about, I was telling Kate before we started, I literally went out and bought all of these torches so that I could show them all to you. So I'm pre-recording some of this because I have a tendency to babble, and I want to make sure that I cover, you know, thoughtfully cover the stuff I think you'll want to hear. So these are refillable torches. We're going to talk about those. These are the kinds that, you know, just screw on to the canister. We're going to talk about those, pros and cons of all of that, and kind of what you might need to get started. And then I'm going to invite you, you know, as I said, this subscriber group covers all of this stuff on the regular basis at a much, you know, more expanded. Oh, I wanted to show you this. Sorry.
Oh, here.
Files, right? Files are intimidating.
Yes.
Do everything with like sanding boards, right? Yep. So I'm going to show you some quick hacks. You know, you can use stuff from the hardware store. You know, you don't need to spend a lot of money to get started. Sorry, I had that sitting here to show you and then forgot. Yeah. So, and then I'll invite you guys to join me. You know, you can try us out and see what you think, take advantage of the discounts, decide if it's for you. But as I said, we do lots of, Kate has been a guest instructor for our group. She did a pearl knotting thing for us a couple years ago.
I did.
Sylvia Lusitz has done, from Halstead, has done a couple things for us. She's going to be doing something for us in May. So, really you know, great. It's a great, I think I'm allowed to say this about myself.
Yeah.
I think I am there are all kinds of really fantastic advanced instructors out there who will teach you, you know, whatever. My focus is helping people working in a small home studio leverage the best of what is available to them without having to invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah. So Kaylin is saying, I had a torch for about a year, but I'm afraid to use it. I hear that a lot. So, you know, let's talk about little things. This is a great little torch. You can do a lot with this. And I think the days of real jewelers telling us you can't do serious work with a butane torch are over. They've all bought into it. So,
and I was always, I mean, when I approach metalsmithing, you know, I approach it in a very similar way. I've always taught with a butane torch. You know, my books are written around the butane torch kind of world. And I really think being able to break it down for the beginning student, it's so important, because if you lay a strong foundation, like if you're out there and you're saying, like Cynthia is saying here, it looks so fun, she misses fabricating, what a great introduction, a refresher to metalworking. It's really, really true. I mean, it is, you know, once you have the basics down, once you understand that you're not going to blow yourself up holding a torch, that you have some really basic safety measures that you take, and, you know, that you feel really comfortable. In my beginning class, in my beginning soldering 101 class, we spent like 20 minutes turning the torch on and off, right? How do you turn it on? Where do you focus it? How, you know, don't turn it on over here and sweep it around. And
you have to think of it. It's a loaded gun. Think of it like a loaded gun. Point it where you want it to go and don't point it anywhere else.
Right. Exactly.
Situational awareness.
Right. Exactly. So I'm so excited for your segment. We're going to be going out on your segment. It's at 4 Pacific, 4, 5, 6, 7 Eastern. Let me put up the
now we're not, just to be clear, everybody, we're not doing a project.
No.
I'm going to cover in some detail. I'm going to cover how to choose a torch. I'm going to cover how to choose a soldering surface, because that's kind of the thing that people kind of get. There's not going to be time for me to go into how you set up a whole thing, but at least to kind of give you an introduction to some of the things that you need to know. And then I'm going to just show you some of the stuff that's possible with a very, with a very minimal amount of tools, a lot of which you probably already have because you're beaders. So
right, exactly. And here's there was a request for the schedule for a screenshot. The schedule is also, if you go over to the Great Bead Extravaganza group on Facebook or the page on Facebook, you'll see it there. It's also on the homepage on beadshop.com. You can find it there. I also put it in the newsletter today. So a quick plug for us, of course, at Bead Shop. You can find all of that info and direct links right on our homepage at beadshop.com. It's really been a joy to be a part of the Great Bead Extravaganza for so many years. And I love being able to bring my friends in. We had Lisa Kelly from Beaducation. We did a lot of that there. I love throwing metal. Let's throw the metal in with the beads. I love it. I am so stoked, Francesca. We're going to learn so much from you. People are really excited.
I'm glad. And then hopefully I won't yak for the whole hour, and we'll have some time at the end where y'all can ask questions.
We'll try and make it all happen for sure. And you and I need to do, I'd love to have you come on with Bead Shop. Maybe we can do a free tip Friday sometime.
Oh, I would love that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And you and I were talking, you need to do another thing for my group too.
I do.
Let's make that
happen. I know, because, all we do, Francesca, is you and I sit around all day and eat bonbons. That's all.
So, I had a conversation. I made the potentially catastrophic error of deciding to run for public office. So we are in the middle of the campaign right now, and I honestly am at the what the heck was I thinking stage of the festivities. And I will just tell you, here's a spoiler alert. Local politics is as unpleasant in many respects as national politics. It is not my favorite thing. But so I was having a conversation with somebody who somehow thought that because I own an art studio that I have all of this time to go, whatever. I'm like, no, I'm running a small business.
Yeah,
I have payroll to make. I have a nut to cover. I've got rent, insurance, all that stuff. I've got a 5,900 member student group that needs my attention. I have workshops to plan.
Same.
Yeah, they think I just swan in a floaty gown every day, sipping Chardonnay and doing whatever the heck I feel like. And I'll tell you what, could I have one day like that? I could do one day like that, maybe a year.
I am ready to swan in a caftan and a turban with a glass of Chardonnay. That would
sign me up. It is not like that at all.
Well, I think it's amazing. I think that, and politics aside, we don't really discuss politics or religion or anything, everyone is welcome at the bead table, but it is really important, to act locally. I think it's sometimes more important to, act locally.
If the last 20 years of political life have taught us anything, it's that grassroots matters.
It does.
Grassroots makes a difference. So if you do the work at the local level, and I will tell you too, that the other thing is it's been an education. I think of myself as a pretty well-informed, you and I have had interesting, good, difficult conversations. I think of myself as pretty balanced and pretty educated and informed. This has been eye-opening. There's a lot of stuff going on here that I had no idea about.
Wow. It's really interesting. I can't wait when we're offline sometime and we're wearing our turbans and caftans and drinking some Chardonnay to hear all about it, because it's interesting.
Hey, if we do a wire work segment where I wire wrap a cabochon or something, can I wear a caftan and a turban and drink some Chardonnay? There's no fire involved.
No, 100%. Yeah, you could.
Oh, yeah. So sign me up for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Sign me up for that.
And so just as a reminder, everybody, Francesca is located in Bulverde, Texas, and it is the whole schedule for all of your instructors, Francesca, because I had a question here, like where are you located?
We're outside San Antonio, but most of our classes involve also a virtual piece. So if you can't make the trip, you can buy an online seat and you can participate live in the workshop as if you were here from your own studio. So we do what we call hybrid workshops. And so like this past weekend, we had 6 people in the studio and 4 people online. And everybody could see and hear each other. And it was, you know, it was wonderful. I am behind on getting our summer schedule up. My apologies. I will be working on that this week. But we have Michael Marks coming. His in-studio seats are up. Online seats will be opening soon. I don't know if y'all know who Dalen Hargrave is. He's a Spectrum Award winning gem carver. He's going to do a class for us.
Yes.
Robert Lopez is coming back in October. Keith LeBou is coming from Australia.
All the way. I'm so excited. He's
coming. Yeah, that's another one you should fly out for maybe.
I should. Because he's like a brother from another mother.
He's a spectacular human being. Suzanne Edwards is going to be here twice this year. John Heusler is coming back.
I was going to say, you just heard John. And if you want to learn how to cut stones, he's the one to learn how to cut stones.
He's the guy. He is the guy.
It's really incredible.
Yep.
And so I love that you have that online component. So if people don't want to jump on a plane and you want to work in your own studio, you have a bird's eye view. I mean, you saw Francesca was just moving her camera around and you saw her, all of her, you know, I mean, you see it, you know, all over. It's amazing. And those are some of the things we learned. Yeah, we learned in the pandemic, which is great. And Cynthia's saying the platform of working together is great for those that that would benefit from body doubling in the studio.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, it's really helpful to have someone to like work along. It's really fantastic. So if you have not joined Francesca's group, and she only opens her Facebook group, it's not always open. So it's
not 4 or 5 times a year. That's it.
Yep. You let a new group in. So it's open now. So you can jump right on over.
And that's free, guys. There's no obligation. All you get is the free project and you have to watch it live. There's no access to the recordings. So yeah.
But it's a great resource. And then as you say, Francesca, on your own platform, people can pay $15 a month and have access to everything.
Our entire library. We've got over 40 projects.
That's like 2 lattes.
Yeah, like I mean, I get it. That's tough.
Yeah. Whoops, sorry. Am I frozen?
Library.
There we go.
I don't know. Who's
You're
frozen?
back. You're good.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're good.
Yep. So, so we'd love to, and that we are opening, we literally just launched, we spent 5 months building out a new platform. And it was a lot of work. And we just opened, we just moved our current subscribers over, still kind of letting the stragglers in. And then this Saturday, we'll be opening the doors to y'all. And for you guys only, I will have a coupon good for $5 off. So your first month would be only $10.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so great.
Yeah. I'm like on the same headline as Candy Cooper. That's like a whole fangirl thing too. Oh my God.
I was just talking to Candy, called me, she called me yesterday, and there are some calls that, when you see, because, caller ID, it's like, if you call, if Candy calls, if Cynthia calls, if some of my bead or metalworking calls, if Janice calls, I take those calls. So it came up on my phone. It was like Candy Cooper. I'm all, oh, this is going to be a good one. So I picked up the phone and we had a good long check-in. But, it's really gratifying that we are able to, you say it's kind of like your quote unquote ministry. I say that teaching is like my calling. I've always been called to teach. I have always felt that sharing the medium of, or sharing creativity through the medium of beadwork and metalworking, is really what I do. This is it. So it's because of the support of students like you, viewers like you, who support us at the Great Bead Extravaganza, who support us in our small businesses, who travel to places like you've created the Makery, that is really such an amazing, beautiful space that is so welcoming, and you have every piece of equipment. It's so good.
I have every piece of equipment because people donated a lot of stuff to us after the fire. Truthfully, we could not, even with the insurance, we couldn't have done this without. We for sure could not have done this.
So. Well, I always say, Kevin Potter, he sent me my press, and that's an expensive piece of equipment that changed my life. So I always, the generosity in the bead and metal worlds.
It's astonishing, isn't it? I just really feel, I feel so fortunate to be part of it. I really do.
Same. Yep. Even on days when it's hard. And sometimes it's hard.
Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. Yep.
Sometimes, it's, as I always like to say, running a small business is not for the faint of heart. So, we just do our best. We just do our best. But thank you. And Ramona is saying this has been one for the books. It sure has. Francesca, thank you so much. We've managed to fill an hour, which I love.
I love that.
I love it. We could sit and chat.
We could have filled we could have filled a second hour, I think,
we could. But
I love you so much, my friend. I really I adore you.
Same. Back at you. And I cannot wait for us to spend some time. My segment on Saturday is at 10 a.m. Pacific. You'll see me go out on all the places. Francesca will be with us on the Great Bead Extravaganza. We'll also put her out on the Bead Shop YouTubes, and she'll be on her platforms as well. So you'll be able to find her everywhere.
Right? Am I allowed to share the actual teaching portion?
100%. 100%.
Perfect. Okay.
Any of the teaching portions you would like, and all of the sessions will be recorded. What we do is, especially in the group, the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group, they'll be recorded there. However, Facebook now is starting to put a limit. The recordings will only be on there for 30 days. So we will be recording also out to the Great Bead Extravaganza YouTube channel, where we have years and years of great bead content. The YouTube channel is a great place to go. Subscribe. You'll see all of that stuff over there, and we'll stay there in perpetuity. So, with Facebook, bless them, or not. they've,
Listen, it's a free service. None of us are paying for it. They can do what they want. And, that's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
it's part of the reason why we're paying for a platform where we have some control over that stuff.
And it's a great entrance to people to be able to find you, and then to be fanned out to people's personal platforms and stuff. So the recordings will all be on the Facebook page, and they'll be shared into the Great Bead Extravaganza group. You can find them there. And again, many of them will be on YouTube. Will be on YouTube, and including the one that Francesca is doing. I'll be hosting her there. So that's it. I'm going to flash the schedule one last time. You'll see us on Friday. We're going to start on Friday the 11th at 5 p.m. Pacific. You will see all of the beautiful faces of the Spring Fling participants from the Great Bead Extravaganza will kind of go in presenter order. Everyone will be talking about what they'll be presenting. And then Saturday morning kicks off with a little intro from Candy Cooper at about a half hour before she goes live. So I think it starts at about 8 a.m. Pacific. And then she'll vamp right on into her presentation. Candy opens it. And then we work through our friends there. We end that day with Francesca. Then we start back up on Sunday with our buddy Abby Berta from the Bead Place. Abby starts at 8:30 Pacific. And then we finish with the Ask Me Anything, which starts at 4 p.m. Pacific, where some of the Great Bead Extravaganza participants will be there answering questions that the audience posed. So thank you so much. I can't believe the Spring Fling is on us already. So people loved it. Francesca, we have 100 people.
I'm so excited.
100 people watching us. We really, really appreciate you folks and supporting all of these companies. And it was so great to introduce Francesca. I know many of you know Francesca from before, but I'm so stoked that
thank you so much for inviting me. I really am thrilled. I really am thrilled. Thank you, my friend.
Well, I will see you Friday for the preview and Saturday for the preview. All right. Well, thank you so much. I will see you folks tomorrow on Bead Shop for our regular live Wednesday broadcast. So I'll see you all then. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
And don't forget,
bye, everyone.
That reminder, give this broadcast wherever you are a thumbs up and engagement so we can get those algorithms. So thanks so much, everybody. Talk to you soon.
See you this weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye.